Are you tired of high-pressure tactics?
No, I'm not going to sign that. That's too much.
At Community Auto Group, you'll find we have a straightforward approach.
If other dealers have made you uncomfortable, give Community a try. You'll enjoy your experience here and find a straightforward deal that's right for you, not high-pressure tactics.
Community Auto Group, straightforward deals from the straightforward dealer.
Just real quick, last week after our deal on Tuesday, just want to congratulate James Morris again on that award. It's obviously a very prestigious award, National Football Foundation. And I think he's one of 4 Big Ten players, if I'm not mistaken, and they're all, excellent players and excellent people, so it's really a prestigious thing. It's a real tribute to the work that James has done as a player, leader, and obviously an outstanding job in the classroom as well, so just really pleased for him and his family. It's a great award. And they'll have a nice time in New York at that dinner. It's a very nice occasion to be involved in. Captain-wise, we've got the same 4 guys. We've got James and then Chris Kirksey defensively, Brett Van Sloten, Mark Weissman offensively, and the only other real news is Dom Alvis will be out again. So we'll see how he does in the next 2 weeks, maybe get him back for the last couple games here. But that's kind of where we're at right now. So we'll go back to work today and get ready for Purdue.
Is Jake is he ready to go, or is that a thing you have to monitor?
We expect everybody to be ready to go today. So, yeah, a couple guys are sore, as you might imagine, but everything, the news on Sunday was a lot better than I thought, really, it might be. So that was good news.
Do you expect Jake to be at all limited?
Not really. I think, he'll be sore maybe, but I think everybody's going to be good to go.
You see your red zone offense has been maybe the most disappointing or frustrating thing about last month of the season?
I don't know. It was Saturday. It was just frustrating we couldn't get touchdowns. And you play a good team like that, a team that's as good as they are offensively. When you get down there, you need to make do with your opportunities, and we just didn't have any luck there. So, 3 trips down there, you come away 3 field goals. Certainly a touchdown would have made a big difference, and then if you can convert a couple of them, it would have been really good. But the first 2 really just we kind of had some self-inflicted wounds that made it tougher, and that part's disappointing.
When you look at the rushing game, since Minnesota you really struggled, is that a reflection of the defenses you played through when the top 10 against rushing, or is it an execution thing?
Correct me. Go back and look. I haven't looked in a while, but I think we were like a yard per carry better than Ohio State. I think I may be wrong on that, but we had a pretty healthy average over there running the ball. Or maybe it was a yard over what they've been giving up. But anyway, I thought we ran the ball fairly successfully there. So, No, I'm saying Ohio State.
Okay.
They're a pretty good football team, and we did okay running the ball there. I think we were 4-8 a carry, but you'd have to look it up. Every game is a certain, individual circumstance. We clearly didn't run it very well against Michigan State. Other people have had the same problem. And Saturday was a tough day, but again, going into it. And I understand why there's so much focus was on Wisconsin's offense for good reason. If you look at their statistics there, they're awfully impressive. But on the flip side, very quietly, their defense has been playing pretty good, and I think they're giving up under 90 a game rushing. And they made it tough for us to run the ball. That's we play better if we can run it. That's for sure.
What can you reasonably?
I'm not overly thrilled with what we're doing right now. I mean, we need to amp that up a little bit.
What can you reasonably expect to get out of Mark? I mean, it seems like when he's working right, carry number 30 is just as strong as carry number 1.
Yeah.
He's having a hard time to get to 10 the last few weeks.
Yeah. So I mean, we'll play it by ear. We'll play it by ear.
You've gone by committee for the last couple of games, especially the last game. Do you expect to do that into the future when you have a young back like Daniels, a guy like Kanzeri who's relatively healthy now? Yeah,
we'll take it a game at a time, but Jordan came in and gave us a spark the other day, and there were 2 things on that. Obviously Mark had an injury that took him out of the game. We expect him to be back okay, but and the other part too, Jordan gave us a little bit of a change up in there and hit that one nice run and did a good job. And as I've said, he's been practicing really well. So we'll just play it a game at a time, try to do what's best. But again, it's a little tricky trying to get 4 guys in, but we have no problem with all 4 of them. We think they're all pretty capable guys.
It looked like that Wisconsin was kind of getting Jake to hesitate a little bit. Now, did you see that on film and all, or how do you rate Jake's performance before he got hurt?
I mean, we didn't get wide open. We weren't in sync. I mean, they played a good defensive game. 52 minutes, I mean, it was a heck of a pitcher's duel, I thought. I mean, both teams were playing good defense. That didn't come as a real surprise to me. I think both teams are very capable defensively, and I mean, we made it tough on them too. Other than the one drive, they got a nice drive. Hit 2 runs on us and hit that pass right before the half. But other than that, up for 52 minutes, it was a great defensive ball game. And sometimes you get in those other times it goes the other way too.
What do you think of what you saw of CJ when he did come in?
I thought he did an admirable job. It's a tough circumstance to enter into, and because they were playing well. But he did some good things. But he's been practicing well. It wasn't a big surprise to us. We feel confident in him.
Kirk, are you concerned about the running game, or is this more just the course of the season, these ups and downs?
Yeah. I was concerned Saturday because we didn't have the kind of productivity you want to have, and but they had a lot to do with that. They're a good football team, and so every week's a different challenge. I think we're capable of doing better. I think we probably could have done a little bit better last week, and that would have helped the cause certainly. But we didn't get it done.
Seems like you're at a stage where you dominate maybe average opponents, and is it just the next step, trying to be more effective against the really elite defenses?
Yeah, again, I thought we ran the ball fairly decently against Ohio State relative to the way other people run the ball. So they're a pretty good team. So I think it's a week-to-week thing, me personally.
What have you seen out of Purdue's offense? Statistically, it's not very good, but I mean, what are the keys you're looking for?
Well, they made the move to a freshman quarterback who's a very good player. We were very interested in him during the recruiting process, and he's a quality young person, a really good player. And they've got an outstanding back. Starts there. He's a really dangerous runner. He's their, I believe, second leading receiver. He's very active in the pass game as well. So that's kind of where the focal point is. They've had some injuries and some illnesses up front, moving some guys around. But, it's going to be a game on the road. We're going to have to be at our best. We've played well the last couple of weeks defensively, but we're going to need to play well again this week. Anything can happen. It's a new week.
Coach, I know 6 wins isn't the ultimate goal, but what would it mean after missing out on bowl eligibility last year to see this team respond and become bowl eligible?
Well, really all that we're worried about is winning this week, which would be 6, and become bowl eligible, certainly a plus compared to a year ago. And we had 6 a year we didn't go last time, so that's not the end all, but it's the best we can do this week, so it certainly would be a great outcome for us if we can get that done.
When you're looking for a hot-handed running back, how can you reasonably sort through guys to see who's working, what's working?
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. It's tough to get a 4-man rotation going. So you just kind of play it. You kind of play it as you go, and I don't know if anybody's got that mastered, but we'll just kind of play it by ear and go through there.
It's not so much that as it's figuring out who can do what. Is that what the case is?
I think we've got a pretty good handle on who's who and what's what in our team, But you never know how it's going to be going on a certain day either. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yep. Right. Yeah, you just never know.
Defense.
Yep. So we'll just try to figure that out.
What would establishing the running game again be on your to-do list for this week, going into this game?
Ultimately we play best when we do both. But when you can't run the ball, it's difficult, and that's unless you're just a team that intends on throwing it 65 times a game or 70. And there are some people built that way, but perfect world, we'd like to be balanced, and sometimes you got to throw it better to get the running game going. They work both ways, and every game's a little bit different there. But at the end of the day, we're better if we're balanced and able to dictate to the defense what we're going to do. And it kind of ties right in with third down situations. In our stats, we're way down Saturday, and we did better on the third and short stuff than we did the third and long, and that's pretty typical. So again, if you can keep it in that manageable range, third down wise, it helps you, and the run game's usually tied into that.
With as many freshmen as Purdue is playing this season, does that make it harder to find game film of them, to kind of learn their tendencies? Is there anything?
No, I don't think so. I think but they have a new staff, obviously, and their situation's a little bit like ours when we came here, in that they're a lot of their guys came from different areas. Some of them with Coach Hazel and Kent, but not all of them. So there's a real feeling out process in terms of your roster and what it is you're trying to do, and then what you would like to do versus what your players can do, and so there's a lot of give and take there. So I'm sure they're going through that too. But we have to be ready for their best football. That's for sure.
I think your first game as a line coach, you guys snapped a 20-game losing streak to Purdue, as I recall. Do you remember anything about that situation leading up to it? And was it hard for you to believe
I do.
lose to a team 20 times?
That is hard to believe. Yeah, it's hard to believe you don't go have a winning season for 19 years too. But it happened. And if I remember, we were up against it pretty good. I think we were coming off 2 losses. Give me a little license here, but I think it was Minnesota, then Illinois. Came home, and probably the biggest thing I remember is we created a new formation. We just moved our backs up a little bit. Really didn't change the offense at all, and the fans went crazy. Everybody thought it was something new. It really wasn't. But Coach Fry with the master of disguise again. But the big thing is we played well enough to get it done, and nothing came easy then, and it doesn't come easy now. And it's like this thing. I mean, Purdue's had a couple losses that were a little bit one-sided, yet they lost a pretty good Notre Dame team by 7 points, and Michigan State's playing really good football this year, and Purdue gave up 1 touchdown to Michigan State, 1 offensive touchdown, or defensive touchdown, if you will, Michigan State's offense. So, that's what we got to be ready for. We got to be ready for a team that's playing at that level, and there's no easy days here in this conference, that's for sure.
Last Friday, you had a player that you had to dismiss from your team, and you mentioned in the statement that he was serving a 3-game suspension at the time. What was the suspension for?
As you might imagine, he broke team policy, and it wasn't public, as you probably did. He wasn't dressed for the Northwestern game, so I'm amazed. I thought everybody on the sidelines. Yeah, you guys are slipping a little bit. I guess that's just for spring scrimmages, but he wasn't dressed out that game, and he just violated team policy.
Was that when the suspension started? Then was that first game?
That was his first of 3 games. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the next man in philosophy, you've had Reggie Spearman in the last couple weeks. How would you assess his progress here as he's been out there and getting?
He's growing. Yeah, he's growing and doing a good job on special teams. And then we're carving out a little something for him on that third down package. And 2 weeks in a row now, he's done a good job there too. So I think it's we're just trying to bring him along. Yep.
Keeping with the quarterback thing, Steve Sokol, Cody, we talked about him all in the spring. How's he doing now? Because he's kind of off the radar.
Yeah, I think I said it last week. We're pleased with all 3 of the guys, but it's tough to get 4 running backs in. It's tough to get 3 quarterbacks in too. So, if Jake is down, then he's number 2. He was, when Jake was down the other day. But again, it's hard to have a 3-man rotation.
Look at what's going on.